The human mind does not suffer because life is cruel, but because it resists life as it is. Worry begins the moment the mind demands certainty from a world that was never designed to provide it. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Surrounded by war, illness, betrayal, and responsibility, he did not seek peace by escaping reality. He sought peace by mastering his inner world. He reminds himself that nothing external has the power to disturb the soul unless the soul grants permission. This understanding is the foundation of Stoic calm. Most worry grows from the illusion of control. The mind believes it must manage outcomes, opinions, futures, and events. When these things inevitably slip beyond command, anxiety appears. Stoicism teaches a sharper form of responsibility. You are responsible for your judgments, your intentions, and your actions. You are not responsible for how the world responds. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly returns to this distinction because it dissolves mental suffering. When the mind stops chasing authority over what does not belong to it, tension releases naturally. The anxious mind lives everywhere except the present moment. It rushes ahead, imagining pain that has not arrived, rehearsing disasters that may never occur. Stoicism pulls the mind back to now, not through distraction, but through discipline. Marcus Aurelius writes that the present moment is all that can ever be lived. The past exists only in memory, the future only in imagination. When attention is anchored in the present, worry weakens because it has nowhere to operate. Fear requires distance from reality. Presence collapses that distance. Stoicism does not deny preparation or foresight. It teaches preparation without emotional dependency. Marcus Aurelius prepares for difficulty while refusing to be disturbed by it in advance. He understands that rehearsing suffering does not prevent it. It only multiplies pain. The Stoic mind acts with care, then accepts whatever follows with composure. When success is measured by integrity rather than outcome, the mind becomes free from constant anxiety. Another deep source of worry lies in distorted perception. The mind does not see events clearly. It colors them with fear, expectation, and habit. Stoicism trains perception to become precise and restrained. Marcus Aurelius reminds himself to describe things exactly as they are, without adding opinion. A delay is not a disaster. A loss is not humiliation. An insult is not harm to the soul. When judgment is removed, events lose their emotional charge. The Stoic understands that it is not events that disturb us, but the meaning we attach to them. Most suffering is self-generated. When perception is purified, emotional reactions soften. Marcus Aurelius treats impressions like visitors at the door of the mind. Not all are invited inside. Some are examined and dismissed. This discipline weakens worry because fear cannot survive without unquestioned belief. Much anxiety is rooted in the fear of discomfort. The mind wants safety, ease, and predictability. Stoicism challenges this desire directly. Marcus Aurelius reminds himself that discomfort is not evil. It is part of human life. Pain tests the body. Difficulty tests the character. When the mind accepts this truth, resistance dissolves. What is accepted no longer terrifies. What is expected no longer shocks. Stoic calm grows stronger through acceptance of impermanence. Everything the mind clings to will change or disappear. This is not a reason for despair, but a reason for balance. Marcus Aurelius reflects constantly on how quickly fame fades. Bodies decay and conflicts vanish. This reflection shrinks worry to its proper size. When the mind remembers how temporary its troubles truly are, it loosens its grip. The Stoic also understands the instability of human opinion. Praise and blame are fleeting. Today's approval becomes tomorrow's silence. When the mind depends on external validation, it lives in fear. Marcus Aurelius frees himself from this by valuing virtue above reputation. When character becomes the standard, the noise of the world loses its power. Worry fades because the mind no longer seeks security in unstable places. As this discipline deepens, the Stoic begins to experience a quiet inner strength. Fear still appears, but it no longer commands obedience. Marcus Aurelius does not deny emotion. He observes it. He understands that emotions arise naturally, but actions remain a choice. This separation is critical. When worry appears, it is seen as a mental event, not a command. Over time, the mind learns not to panic at its own thoughts. This is the beginning of freedom, not freedom from difficulty, but freedom from inner chaos. The Stoic mind becomes steady, grounded, and alert. It no longer wastes energy fighting reality. It prepares, responds, and adapts. This foundation prepares the soul for deeper acceptance, which unfolds fully in the next stage of Stoic understanding. As the Stoic mindset matures, acceptance transforms into alignment. Marcus Aurelius does not merely tolerate reality, he cooperates with it. He sees himself as part of a vast ordered whole governed by reason. This perspective dissolves the feeling of isolation that fuels anxiety. When the individual stops seeing life as a personal attack, emotional reactivity fades. Events are no longer enemies. They are conditions to be met with wisdom. Living in accordance with nature means responding to life as it unfolds, not as the ego demands. Marcus Aurelius reminds himself that resistance creates suffering, while adaptation restores peace. When plans fail, the Stoic adjusts without bitterness. When expectations collapse, he remains steady. Worry disappears because the mind no longer insists that life obey personal preference. This alignment produces trust, not blind optimism, but rational confidence. The Stoic trusts his ability to respond well to whatever arises. He does not need certainty about the future, because he has cultivated strength in the present. Marcus Aurelius finds peace not in knowing what will happen, but in knowing how he will meet it. This confidence dissolves fear at its core. Daily reflection is essential to this process. Stoicism is not practiced once, but continuously. Marcus Aurelius writes to himself every day, correcting his thoughts, refining his judgments, and reminding himself of what matters. This repetition trains the mind. Worry weakens through consistent redirection. Each time fear appears, it is gently guided back to reason. The Stoic also changes his inner dialogue. Instead of asking why this is happening, he asks how to respond with virtue. Instead of imagining worst-case scenarios, he focuses on present responsibility. This shift changes the entire mental landscape. Worry thrives on helplessness. Stoic thought restores agency. Another powerful element of Stoic calm is service to the greater whole. Marcus Aurelius sees himself as a citizen of the world, not the center of it. This perspective reduces ego-driven fear. When the mind is devoted to contribution rather than self-protection, anxiety loses relevance. Purpose steadies the soul. The Stoic understands that life is not meant to be comfortable at all times. It is meant to be lived well. Virtue becomes the anchor, courage in difficulty, justice in interaction, discipline in desire, wisdom in judgment. When these guide behavior, external uncertainty loses its power. Worry fades because the mind knows it can remain honorable under any condition. Gradually, the Stoic experiences a profound inner quiet. Thoughts still arise, but they no longer overwhelm. The mind becomes a place of observation rather than reaction. Marcus Aurelius reaches this state not through withdrawal, but through engagement guided by reason. He participates fully in life without being consumed by it. The ultimate Stoic realization is liberating. You do not need life to be easy to be at peace. You need clarity, discipline, and acceptance. Marcus Aurelius demonstrates that even in the midst of chaos, the mind can remain serene. This serenity is earned through daily effort, honest reflection, and unwavering commitment to virtue. When this mindset is lived consistently, worry loses its function. It no longer protects or prepares. It becomes unnecessary noise. The Stoic mind stands firm, calm, and ready, not because the future is safe, but because the soul is strong. And in that strength, there is a peace that nothing external can disturb.